Up. Let's go, baby. Geeks are signing in. We got a big old fight night. We are talking Nate Diaz, Hamzat Chimaev going down to the T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas this Saturday, the 10th. Oh, boy. This is a big one, man. Nate Diaz stepping out against UFC's protege. Can he get it done? He is historically big underdog. Let's get after it. We're starting with the prelims. First fight, all the way from the bottom to the top. We're going to cover the prelims and we're going to get to the main in the next video. Let's get after it. First fight of the night, banger. Here we go, 170 welterweights. We got Darian Weeks, 5-2, coming out against Johan Lainesse, 8-1. Johan Lainesse hits hard as fuck. And this guy at plus 105 against Darian Weeks is going to be a big problem if Darian Weeks can't get his wrestling game going. Darian Weeks likes to get guys against the fence. He likes to slow down the pace. He likes to really dictate how fights go. He's very physical fight style. Johan Lainesse, super strong guy. He's going to be scrambling in this. He's going to be throwing bombs. He's going to have the advantage on the feet in my eyes. A little bit bigger guy. I think that at underdog price, this is great value. Johan Lainesse plus 105 to open the night with a bang. Let's get it. Goosey, what do you got?
I'm going to be on the other end of this one. I'm going to take Darian Weeks. I think he's shown very good durability and a lot better gas tank than Johan Lainesse. Obviously, that first round's going to be a little tough for him, but if he can make it to the bell, I think he starts to take over rounds 2 and 3, really putting it on him. And if this fight does hit round 3, I think Johan's going to be in serious danger of getting finished because he gassed out so badly in his last fight against Gabe Green. We've seen Darian Weeks and Gabe Green have a common opponent. I think that Darian Weeks is a little better than Ian Gary, or against Ian Gary than Gabe Green. And I think that Darian Weeks will do a little better against Johan Lainesse than Gabe Green. So I'm going to take Darian Weeks in this one.
Valid take. Dano, what do you got?
I'm gonna ride with Weeks as well, and I think I could definitely see this going Lainesse early KO, but my pick for this fight is gonna be Weeks decision. So I think it'll last, and Lainesse will tire out.
No, Fishman.
Yeah, I'm kind of on Dano's side on that. I don't know if he could finish him on the feet. He's probably gonna have to just grab him and get the control time going. But at first I'm liking Johan at the dog price, but because he eats less strikes and his striking defense is higher than Darian Weeks. But with Darian, he's just faced better guys, Ian Gary and Barberena. So I'm gonna go with Weeks on this one.
Let's go. Let's do it. We're moving into the next boot. We have got a female scrap. We got Elise Reed coming out. She is 5-2 against an undefeated female prospect, 7-0 Mexican Melissa Martinez. This fight's going down at 115. I'm gonna take Melissa Martinez in this one just because she's got a good wrestling game, and Elise Reed's really big at this weight class. I know that she beat Corey McKenna. That kind of surprised everybody, but she came out in their last fight and she looked really bad. So I don't know what she's really going to be coming out looking like. Melissa Martinez on the other end, 7-0. She comes out with a strict game plan every time. So I'm looking for her to impose her game plan, just make this a tough fight for Reed, who I feel like just comes out there and kind of just is really reckless. She's just really big for the weight class. She's kind of getting exposed nowadays, but I wouldn't be surprised if she pulls off something. It's a female boot and she's the bigger gal, but I think Melissa Martinez is a good play. What do you got, Goosey?
I'm going to take the experience, the UFC experience in this bout, and I'm going to go with Elise Reed at underdog value. It makes it a little easier for me because it's hard to trust Elise Reed, but she's been there. Her main problem has been her size and losses. And Melissa Martinez, who she's going up against, is 5'2", where Elise Reed is 5'3". They have a similar reach, and Melissa Martinez has been fighting at 115, where her last fight she weighed in at 114. So I think that the size is going to be pretty equal. All things given, I think Elise Reed's going to be able to go in there, use some veteran experience, And at underdog value, I like it. So give me Elise Reed here.
Now, Fishman, what do you got?
Yeah, at first I was on Melissa. Kind of hard for me to just go against 7-0 Mexican girl that could just bang. She got a bunch of knockouts on her record, but I'm on Goosey's side with this. I'm gonna go ride with the UFC experience on this one, and I just think she's been fighting higher caliber girls, and yeah, I think she could get the job done at the dog price.
Girls in their XP, man. Dano, what do you got?
Same as Goosey and Fish. I like the XP. I like the height advantage, not much, but like Goose said, she's finally going to be a bigger girl, Elise Reed. And like you said, she had a bad outing in her last fight. So I think she's going to come back with some vengeance and put on a show for us, 29-28.
Let's go. We're moving into the next boot. This one's a pretty decent scrapperoonie. We got Chad and Helliger, who's 12-5, coming out against the kid, the boy, Haley Alatang. They call this guy the Mongolian Knight. This guy is 15-8-2. He's got some hands, man. He just knocked out Kevin Kroom in the first round. He's got decent wins on his record. He's beat Dana Batgarel. He's beat Ryan Benoit. His only loss in UFC comes to Casey Kenny. We flipped the script. We'll go back, look at this other guy, Chad Helliger. He's coming off a scrappy win on the Contender Series. He did really show his well-roundedness when he was out there. That's why he got the contract. He looked good. He already had his UFC debut against Jesse Strader. He got the ground and pound late. He's got a good gas tank. I just think that Alatang is going to be a lot for him. I feel like he's been in the cage. He's seen a little bit more. I think in Helliger, he is more well-rounded, and this fight could, turn into like a full mixed martial artist bout and be like a super close scrap. But I just like Alatang and his power in this bout. I'm not really betting on this one. I think it's a 50-50 scrap. Let's look at the line on this one. And Helliger is going to come out, and he is going to be a plus 145 dog. A little bit of value there for sure. So I'll actually probably take in Helliger at plus 145. What do you got, Goosey?
Glad you switched because first time tonight we're gonna be on the same page here. I'm going Chad and Helliger. Obviously Alatang comes out in his last fight. He got out of there in under a minute. He comes out, he starts fast. If you look at his record, he has a lot of split decisions and draws. And for his skill set, that tells me that he's coming out hard early and then he's fading very hard late. We're seeing Ann Helliger. He's just a dog in there. He can take some shots and keep coming forward. He got a third round finish his last time out. And I think that is very much in play here. I think the beginning of this fight is going to be Alatang. The end is going to be Ann Helliger. I think, especially at underdog value, Chad and Helliger is going to be my pick here.
Let's go, Dano. What do you got?
I'm going to ride with Alatang, and I like his well-roundedness. Even though Angelica is pretty well-rounded, I believe Alatang is going to be a little bit more. He had multiple takedowns against Benoit, one or at least 2 or 3 takedowns against Dana Batgarel, and then he's got hands on him. So I think he's just going to be overall too much, a little too overwhelming. He'll just always be in Helliger's face. So give me Alatang.
Let's go, Fishman. What do you got?
I'm gonna ride with Chad on this one. Basically, I wanted to go with Alatang, but I think Chad's run is a little bit more impressive to me than Alatang's little run he's on. But we got a dude, Chad. He doesn't have many fights in the UFC, but he landed a good amount of strikes per minute, and he's never been knocked out. Alatang's been knocked out, and I don't think Chad does have a deficit on the ground. He has been subbed 5 times, but that was earlier in his career. So I think Chad, like you guys said, he's just in the second half of the fight, he's just going to take over. And I like that. And he's at plus 140. I had him at plus 140. So yeah, I like Chad in this one.
Let's go. We're moving right into the next boot. And this one's going to be another female boot. We've got Norma Dumont, 7-2 Brazilian featherweights, coming out against Danielle Wolf, who is 1-0. I'm going to take Norma Dumont in this one. What do you got, Fishman?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Dumont as well. Wolf's got one bout, and I'm just gonna go with Dumont on that one. Can't really. She's in her last four, 3-1. Lands at a pretty good rate, pretty accurate, and yeah, the experience, you're just gonna see it. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the lady that came off the Contender Series that used to be a pro boxer.
Mhm.
Don't at me though, but she's not very well rounded if that's who is what I'm thinking about. So maybe look for a sub for normal. What do you got, Goosey?
Yeah, I mean this fight, Danielle Wolf, I guess she had like a good boxing career, but she probably shouldn't even be in the UFC. It looks like she got outstruck and outgrappled on the Contender Series, and somehow got the decision. Um, but I think Norma Dumont's going to outgrapple her. We've already seen the greatest woman of all time, self-proclaimed boxer, and Clarissa Shields go to PFL and get outgrappled by a 2-0 prospect. I think someone that is proven to be UFC caliber can go out and out grapple 38-year-old Danielle Wolf. So that's going to be my pick.
All right, Fishman. Not Fishman. All right, Goosey. Good take. Dana, what do you got?
Clean sweep. I'm gonna go with Dumont and Danielle Wolf. She is the boxer and she fights like a boxer. She has a pretty stationary feet, I believe, and not much takedown defense. Norma Dumont is pretty good at takedowns, and I always like to think that just it's totally different striking styles when you two are just standing in front of each other rather than the threat of a takedown, and then you gotta survive on the ground and get up. So I feel like even though she is a pro boxer, it's just going to be a little bit different, and the threat of the takedown, especially mixed with hands coming at her, just gonna be too much.
Yeah, I feel you. And let's move right into the next boot. We have got some big old boys popping out. Interesting line here. We have got Jake Collier, 13-7, coming out against Chris Barnett. Heavyweights. Chris Barnett is 22-8. Collier's 13-7. Man, they've got Collier painted as a big favorite in this one, around minus 400-ish, minus 350. I can see why. I can see why. I mean, Chris Barnett, he loves to do the spinning roundhouse kicks. He likes to do the sellies. This guy's awesome entertaining, but when it comes to fighting, he really is just a leg kicker. Like the guy stands on the outside, he just wants to kick the inside calf kick and do his little dance. And it's just kind of hard to see where the power really comes from with this guy. I mean, he knocked out Jean Vellante, but that was just so weird. Like he wasn't really knocked out. He just kind of gave up. He was like, damn, I got hit with that. I might as well fall here. Hasn't really done too much other than that. Jay Collier subbed Chase Sherman in the first round, and then his last fight was against Andrei Arlovsky, and that decision was very suspect. So Jay Collier's on one. I don't see him losing to Chris Barnett, but in this heavyweight bout with these lines looking like this, I mean, Chris Barnett is very much, open to winning a decision. So if you see a Chris Barnett decision line, I would maybe take a little sprinkle on that because that's going to be high money and it's just going to be a pitter patter war. I don't think that these guys are going to do too much damage to each other, but I think it's going to be a close contest. All right, what do you got, Dano?
I'm gonna ride with Jake Collier. I like him as a fighter. I know he's been one of those guys who started lower and then just got bigger and bigger and bigger, but I liked him against Sherman, and he looked real well in that one. And then just the height advantage. I think we got around 6 inches of height between Barnett and Collier. Collier's got hands on him. He can go to the ground. I believe it was the Sherman fight when he subbed him, and it wasn't from a takedown. He knocked him down, went down with him, and subbed him out. So I'm gonna ride with Collier on this one.
Fishman, what do you got?
Yeah, so just a little fun fact, Collier's been alternating dubs and losses for his last however many fights. So he's due for a dub here, but sad to say I'm an NFT holder for Chris Barnett, but I think I think he's gonna be the one that's gonna be put on an NFT possibly. But not yeah, like Mace CEO Geek said, we love the entertainment, we love it, but Jake he lands at a way bigger pace, and Barnett does get hit a lot. So we're just gonna go with Collier, and it's probably gonna be a decision.
Yeah, like love the over in this one. Love to see what the line is for that. Goosey, what do you got?
Yeah, my pick is gonna be Jake Collier, but like he should never be -3 or 400 in a UFC fight. Like even against Chris Barnett, the guy's got good power. Collier gets hit a lot. Like he could go down in the first for sure, but more likely than not, Jake Collier's the better fighter, so he'll get the win. And that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah, and I just checked the over under. It's at -120, -110. I would sledge that. That's an easy over if you ask me. Let's move into the next boot. We have got a middleweight scrap. We've got the kid Jamie Pickett, 13-7, coming out against Dennis Tialulin, 10-6. Jamie Pickett. Definitely a character, man. You got to know Jamie Pickett. He's been on his ups, he's been on his downs. This guy's left the scene for a little bit. He's come back. He looks like a different guy. He is getting better every time he steps in the octagon. That is one thing I will say about Jamie Pickett. But he does have these like hesitant, he's very like questions himself in the octagon at times. And with a guy like Tennis Tialulin, who's fighting straight up killers for the last like 10 fights, you go down his topology, every single guy he fights is a freaking killer. He doesn't really take any duds. He's been fighting, off scene, KSW, all these places. He's fighting legit dudes. 10-6 isn't too impressive, but when you look at his record, it's not that bad. Jamie Pickett can be put down and can be put away by somebody who's just comfortable in the octagon and is just, a little bit smooth. Dennis Tialulin, I think, is just going to be much more, comfortable in the octagon than Jamie Pickett. I think he's going to find his shots. And I just think that Jamie Pickett's got a little bit further to go. I just don't think that he's developed enough. And I think that Tialulin's been in enough wars to be able to find a way to win this one. So I'm taking Tialulin. What is the line? Dennis Tialulin. Oh, he's plus 115. Let's go. Dog season. Fishman, what do you got?
Yeah, at first I was on Jamie Pickett. He's got a couple more UFC fights under his belt. He gets subbed to Dawkins, the younger Kyle Dawkins. But Dennis, I mean, he's better at the stand-up, and I think that's exactly where this fight's going to take place. Both of them have got subbed 3 times, and if it's going to be a stand-up, I just trust Dennis to go in there and pop him a couple times. I mean, Jamie's has been folded, but yeah, give me the dog on this. I'm gonna go with Dennis as well.
Yeah, Dennis likes to get his guys in and out early. I mean, he's got a bunch of knockouts. Within the first couple minutes of these fights, I'm seeing elbows, front kicks. So this guy's dangerous. What do you got, Goosey?
It's pretty hard for me to get a read on either of these guys. It seems like a mixed bag when you look at their records. If they fight someone really good, they've been losing. They fight someone that they should beat, they beat them. They both have similar skill set. I think Tiulian probably has the advantage on the feet a little bit, like slightly. Pickett might be able to mix it up better, but I think Tiulian probably has a little better gas tank. Flip a coin for me on this one, but you guys are picking Tiulian at and that underdog value and a 50-50. I'll go with him too.
Great value. Dano, what do you got?
I like Tui Llewellyn, same as you guys. I like the dog. With Pickett, he's pretty inconsistent, and not only is his record, 13-7 is all right, but he's just inconsistent whether he shows up to fight or not that night. And the nights where he doesn't show up, there's a guy swinging in his face, walking him down, putting a lot of pressure on him, and I think that's what Tui Llewellyn's gonna be doing. So if Pickett shows up, this will be a really good scrap, but I think Tui Llewellyn's gonna go out there and put on a show.
Let's go. We're moving into the next boot. Yo, this next one, that's is it heavyweight or light heavyweight with Gelton?
Heavyweight.
Catchweight 220.
Catchweight?
220, so it's heavyweight.
All right, the next bout we got some big old boys. We got Gelton Almeida, 16-2 Brazilian. It's gonna be a catchweight, heavyweight scrap at 220 against newcomer Anton Turkalj. 8-0. The guy's pretty good. This one's gonna be a mix-up. For me, I feel like Gelton Almeida, there's no excuse for him to lose this. This guy is massive, and he should come out and impose his will. But I've seen him, go into deeper rounds, and I don't think this is a lock for me. I'm looking at the line right now. It's minus 800. This is a trap fight for me because I feel like as good as Gelton Almeida is, this guy Anton Turkalj, all he's gonna have to really do is survive. And then these later rounds, you never know what they're gonna look like at this weight class. I'm staying away from minus 800. I do think Gelton Almeida will come out and get this sub because Anton does like to grapple a little bit. And Gelton Almeida's takedowns are just so powerful, and he's going to be the bigger man. So I do think Gelton Almeida should win, but I am not touching minus 800, and I don't know enough about Anton to really trust him. So be careful with this one. This is I think this is the parlay buster if there is one on this card. So caution to the wind. Fishman, what do you got?
Yeah, so I'm kind of on the same page as you. I'm on Almeida's just a gorilla, bro. I mean, he comes out, he's putting up numbers. He could stand there and bang, but he is I'm not gonna take the quote away from Goose here, but I'll let him give him his title. But Almeida, dude, he's good on the ground. And I'm looking here, what's his name? Gustafsson had a grappling match with Anton back in 2019 and lost. So that's even furthering my solidification of Gelton's ground game. So I'm confident Gelton, a little inflated, but I'm going for probably a knockout first or second. I don't know. Ground and pound.
GP. Fishman or Dano, what do you got?
I'm not thinking too much on this. I love Almeida in this one. I don't love the line, obviously, because it's so big, but Almeida, like his last fight was at heavyweight. I think he wants to be in the bigger weight class, so like he's used to this weight. Whereas Anton, this is a late notice. I believe he was the Contender Series guy that won and didn't get a contract, so they're kind of just like whoever wants to fight Almeida, let's go, and he stepped up. So this is a tough fight for him. I think Almeida's gonna be pretty dominant as we've seen. Anton's grappling isn't the best from what I've seen. So, and I know Almeida's a dog. So, sucks the line's this big, but Almeida all the way.
Let's go. Goosey, what do you got?
Got Brazilian Khabib versus the Pleasure Man, the Swedish Pleasure Man. And I think it's going to be a pretty tough night for Anton. Good thing about this fight is he's getting the UFC contract, but I think that's about all the good things that are going to come for him in this bout because, I mean, the guy that he fought on Contender Series, he wasn't anything crazy. And I think that Gelton Almeida is something crazy, and he's going to be taken a lot early. I think Almeida gets it done via the grappling, probably submission round 1 or 2. But like you said, you can't count the crazy man that names himself the Pleasure Man out. So something weird could happen. Definitely not a lock at minus 900, but I feel pretty confident in Almeida here.
Yeah, his main game is grappling, and so is Almeida's. He does have that spinning back fist knockout. So, I mean, he could do something crazy, but at the same time, this fight very easily Gelton Almeida's ballpark. Let's move into the featured bout of the prelims. We have got the mean man, the mean muggin, Hakeem Dawodu, 13-2-1. This kid's legit. Coming out against Juicy J, Julian Erosa, 27-9. Fight's going to be a featherweight, 145. Let's look at the line. Hakeem Dawodu off rip, gonna have the power advantage, gonna be the much crisper striker in this. When it comes to grappling, Juicy's really good at catching guys in subs, but Dawodu's really good defensively. He did fight Evloev, and Evloev didn't exactly have his way with him. It was, on the tougher scale for him, one of the tougher fights Evloev's had. He kind of just had to position grapple him, take control of him because he couldn't get a finish off, couldn't get hooks in, that kind of stuff. Dawodu's tough guy. Juicy J, I don't know where he's at in his career right now, where he's just taking kind of any fight that they give him, because Juicy just seems to be going through the gauntlet nowadays. 2020 through 2022, this guy is getting fed to the wolves. Hakeem Dawodu should win this. I'm taking him. I think that he's going to knock out Juicy J. I've seen it too many times now where Juicy J gets in these competitive bouts, but just can't hold on, can't hang in there, especially when it comes to being on the feet. Juicy J is definitely elusive in the way he moves, but Dawodu minus 250 looks phenomenal to me. I think that he's going to really start taking off as this fight goes on. He gets his leg kicks in. So Hakeem Dawodu by knockout. Give me round 2. Goosey, what do you got?
Yeah, so in this one, Hakeem Dawodu, he seems like the pretty straightforward play, and I'm not gonna play it. I'm taking Juicy J. I think yeah, the power's definitely there for Dawodu, but I think it's a little bit overstated just because he throws his shots really one at a time. He's not really throwing punches and punches. And he does have knockouts, but most of them are before the UFC. He has a bunch of UFC fights and only one knockout, which was by head kick. And I think head kick's gonna be tough to get on Erosa. Maybe you could say Dawodu's due for it, but I think you got Erosa, who's been there and done that so many times. He's like one of the true mixed martial artists that really goes in there, strike, grappling, clinch game, all of it. He's looking to do all of it. And Dawodu's been in a lot of split decisions to this point in his UFC career. That's telling me that he's in close fights. And I mean, in what is shaping up to be a competitive close fight, I think that Erosa is going to mix it up enough to maybe do enough on 2, possibly 3 judges' scorecards. So I think he's around plus 200, maybe even more. I see some value on Juicy J there, and I'm going to pick him.
I will tell you that in Dawodu's debut to the UFC when he was 7-0, he got stuck in a guillotine, and it only took 39 seconds for his O to go. And I do know a guy with a crazy guillotine. So I am feeling you. So, Dana, what do you got?
I totally see that because Erosa is a dog, but I'm gonna go with Dawodu. Just because I'm looking at these numbers and Erosa's got a negative strike differential and they're both up in the 6s. And then you got Dawodu who's throwing out 5.3 strikes and absorbing only 2.7. So he's hard to hit, whereas Juicy J's taking a lot of blows. So with the power of Dawodu, with the aging Juicy J, who maybe he's got a style of a young guy who it might not suit him as he gets older. He had a hard last fight, so I'm gonna go with Dawodu. I don't know about knockout, but I'm riding with him.
Let's go. Fishman, what do you got?
Yeah, so on this one, I'm riding with Juicy motherfucking J, baby. And you know why? Because this dude's fighting savages. I mean, in his last 5 fights, he's 4-1. Charles Jourdain, Darce choke, round 3. So he could go deep into fights with a striker and just get it done with a Darce. Nate the Train, flying knee, round 1. He could get it done early. Sean Woodson, Darce, round 3. So, I mean, just like Goose said, he could get it done real quick whenever, and he could go the distance, and he's just super well-rounded. So I'm riding with a dog price. This is the dog of the night for me, plus 200. So, yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Those are the picks and predictions. Those are the prelims. Tune in for the main card. Let's go.